Welcome to the meeting 340 of Turning Point Toastmasters. I believe you already had a great start to this year. Together, let's strive to elevate our journey and make it more remarkable this year. I am Ankit Agarwal, Sergeant at Arms for today. In Toastmasters, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and that it may not be possible to pause this meeting. Now, talking about the meeting rules regarding audience, please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please be please ensure that your noise making devices are either switched off or on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, and politics in your speeches. As far as possible, please keep your videos on, audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. Now, some rules with respect to role players. TMOD, TTM, and GE, please ensure a smart audio and video check before handing over the stage to respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself if you haven't done by now as role player underscore your name. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer as well. Now, some general rules. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons generously to encourage role players. We sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or the speaker on stage. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute. Polls will be launched after each section and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now, I would like to call our presiding officer, who is also our VP Education, Neeraj Singla. Neeraj, can we have you on the stage?
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, Neeraj, you are audible and visible.
Wow, what a wonderful start of this meeting. Thank you so much, Ankita Agarwal, for setting the right tone for the entire meeting. Hello and welcome to meeting number 340. A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I extend my warm welcome to everyone who are present here. Today's meeting is very special meeting because of two reasons. First, this is the first meeting of year 2024. And the second reason is today we are joined by Toastmasters Ashutosh, who's going to give a wonderful session on questions are the answers. Please give a big round of applause for Toastmaster Ashutosh. As we stepping into year 2024, let's embark on this journey with open minds, eager heart, and a determination to make this year more productive and fulfilling. Let's dedicate this year to more empowering speeches, new learning experiences, and setting milestones. With that, let's see who all have joined with us today as a guest. Okay, we have Madhav. Madhav, can you give brief introduction about yourself? Where are you from? What led you to join this meeting?
So am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes.
I'm trying to be visible. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So I have joined from Gurgaon. I'm a product consultant for an edtech startup, and I love to join Toastmasters meeting every Thursday, as much as I can join. So I'm looking forward for today's session. That's it.
Glad to hear that, Madhav. You are surely going to enjoy this meeting. Let's go to our another guest. Vinay, can you give quick introduction about yourself?
Hello, Neeraj. This is Vinay Sharma. Actually, I am part of CDTM, Toastmaster group, and recently I had to shift to Ghaziabad. That's why I am not able to join meetings there. And to enhance my communication skills and develop my personality, I am joining this group again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vinay, for choosing us for your journey. So with that, let's start our today's meeting with a very positive vibe to help you achieve your goals. We brought a very exciting topic which will help you to write your speeches accurately. None other than by Toastmaster of the evening, Jaspreet. Let me tell you, she's very self-motivated and active member of this club. Please stay tuned with her to learn more about deep editing techniques. Please join your hands in welcoming Toastmaster of the evening, Jaspreet.
Thank you all, and thank you so much, Neeraj, for your kind words. So, welcome you all to the very first meeting of 2024. This is the very first meeting. So, I really thought about why not start this new chapter of our year with learning how to write speeches even better. I really learned through my processes that we do not focus on the editing part because Toastmaster is all about leadership skill and public speaking skills. But when the first time I started, I realized it's all about writing. When I look up on the pathway courses, it's all about writing speeches, and there is a lot of writing work. I was happy because I thought like, oh, I'm already a writer, so I can do it very easily. But eventually I learned I was making the same mistakes as anybody would if they are in their first, if they're doing it for the first time. So I would like to know, what do you understand by editing? Because when we write our first speech, we often neglect the editing process. We often just jump onto the delivering and rehearsing the speech and giving the speech right away. But how many of you actually focus on the editing part? Just raise your hands. Okay, how many of you, okay, do you focus on the editing part? How many of you focus on the editing part? Only one. Okay, two. How many of you don't neglect it completely? Raise your hands. Okay, it's okay. We all do. We all learning. So now why editing process is important? I will definitely tell you. Now imagine yourself as an electrician. If you're going to see a problem at hand, you will take all your toolkit, right? You don't know what you might need. You have all the screwdrivers, all the tools that you need. You just take it with you, and what the electrician do, they just come and see the problem, and then he decides which one to use, which tool he needs to use at what place. So I will give you 4 different techniques. The first is content edit. The second is structure edit. Third is style edit, and the presentation edit. Now, obviously, there are many writers. Some people are really advanced writers. They think like they don't need that much editing. Some people really require almost all of the editing processes. So what we can do by using all these 4 techniques, we can improve our writing to a really skyrocket level. So I will give you all of those techniques that you can use and improve your writing as you move forward in the Toastmasters journey. So to begin with, the first is content edit. The content edit part is when you complete your draft. So the moment you complete your draft, that's the first time you will start to edit. Obviously, you already have an idea what you're going to start with. a specific idea and you have put all of your research down on paper, and you have to make sure to marinate for a while, which is a really term Stephen King uses. You need to let it marinate, keep it separate. After a while, then you need to come to it and edit. So with the editing phase, there are definitely multiple methods, but I would say you need to use the editing when you're doing content edit. You need to clear out all the individual points. So cut out all the points like separately. You need to break them down one by one, and then see which points are relevant and which points are not. A lot of the times, most points are repeating. So remove all those repeating points that are saying the same thing but in different lines. So that's how you do the content edit initially. So there are multiple ways, obviously. The first is breaking down the points. And then you need to see whether the line that you're saying is really have the purpose. When you're starting your content editing phase, the first thing you need to determine what is your purpose. Even when you read the Pathway Project, you see how you need to clear out your purpose very clearly, whether it is entertaining, whether it's inspiring, whether it's persuading or any other. So the first thing you need to do is define your purpose and then break down all those points and clear out what are relevant, which ones are worthwhile, and remove all those points that are repeating or are not relevant to the purpose. The next stage comes, I know I'm making it a little boring, but I won't be because, so what do you think what the next stage would be after you have broken down all those points? Anybody?
Prioritizing.
Or
Can you repeat?
Prioritize the most required, most important.
Okay, that's right. Anyone else?
or structuring it in a manner that looks presentable.
Okay, we are still in the content edit phase. Actually, it will come later. So in the content, the next step is to check the facts, which we usually don't. You need to check the facts are from the right places and from the right sources. A lot of the times we write stuff which are actually not true. Or maybe we mention, like, for example, if you have mentioned the minister as he, and the minister is actually a she. So that's a mismatch. So you have to check those facts if that's true or not. And at the end, you will write all those missing points that are not there. Like if you want to add any point that you later on research and find out, oh, I can add that. So editing phase really is tedious, it's boring, but it's super important and it makes the end product even more beautiful. So our meeting has 3 sections. The first section is the prepared speeches section, and we have a guest speaker, Ashutosh, who will give us a very wonderful session, and we are super excited about that. And the second phase is the journal evaluation. The second phase is the table topic session, and the last is journal evaluation. So the first journal evaluator will give us all our feedback, all our evaluation, and there will be evaluators and the tag team who will help us out. So first, I would like to call upon the stage to Ankit Agarwal, who is a nature enthusiast, and he loves tracking and running. He loves tracking and exploring national parks, and he professionally works as a data scientist. So let's have a round of applause for Ankit Agarwal. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Jaspreet. Thanks for the introduction. So today, my role as a general evaluator is to check what went well, what went wrong, and what could have been improved during the meeting. I'm going to evaluate all the role players during the meeting. From the audience interest perspective, the evaluation is divided into three sections. First one being the prepared speech evaluation, which is going to be led by distinct Toastmaster Anand today. And the second section of evaluation will be by tag team, who is going to help me out in checking the preciseness, conciseness, and fluency of the speeches. And the third will be the overall evaluation, which will be given by me. Now I would like to call my tag team. First will be the timer, who is going to be played by Toastmaster Ashima today. So timer is going to show us three cards. Green card, which means it's meeting the minimum qualified time. Yellow card, which is representing the target time, and the red card, which is representing the maximum qualified time. And today, prepared speeches will have a time limit of 5 to 7 minutes. Five being the minimum time to qualify, 6 being the target time, and the 7 will be the maximum qualified time. Similarly, table topics will have 1 to 2 minutes of time limit, and all the speech evaluation going to be 2 to 3 minutes. And all speeches will have a grace period of 30 seconds on both sides. Now, I would like Ashima, can you show us the cards?
Okay.
Can you show us
Okay. Yellow card
yes.
and this is the red card. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Ashima. Thanks, Ashima, for showing us the cards. Next, tag team role player will be the R counter, who is going to be played by Toastmaster Ravi today. He's going to note down all the filler words like so, I mean, etc. Then comes the grammarian, who is going to be played by Toastmaster Amit today. He is going to note down good usages, phrases, and metaphors, and also note down any wrong pronunciation or any wrong sentence formation. Now, I would like to invite Amit to share with us the word of the today. Amit, can we have a quick audio and video check?
Am I audible or visible?
Yes, Amit, you are audible and visible. Please go ahead and sharing with us the word of the day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. So, as a grammarian, my work is to notice good phrases and good words while speeches and TTM, and I will also focus on few recommendations such as bad use of grammar and wrong pronunciation. So, today word of the day is amicable. That means desire to avoid conflict and settling things in peaceful manner. So it is also used as adjective for friendliness and peacefulness. So here are few examples. Just like our president introduce everything amicably. Evaluator Anand gives recommendation amicably. Toastmasters meeting happening in perfectly amicable way. So I would encourage you all to use amicable word in throughout the meeting and be a amicable person as well. So I will be sharing in chat box. So please use as much as you can. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Amit, for sharing with us the word of the day. And I would also encourage everyone to use this word at least once throughout your speech. And now I would like to hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day, Jaspreet. Can we have a quick audio and video check again?
Yeah, am I audible and visible?
Yes, Jaspreet. Go ahead. The stage is yours.
So now we come to the point of structure edit. And this is a time where Ashima rightly said we need to order our entire speech. So this is where I really made a big mistake in the last speech when I gave. The last speech I gave was the unexpected chef, and my project objectives were very clear that I need to focus on the mentorship style, the mentor and protege relationship. I made the speech entirely about cooking, and I didn't focus on entirely on my grandmother or the way I was learning that cooking or what lessons I learned. So the what was missing in that case? I wrote that speech, the structure was fine, it was organized. What do you think what was missing? Does anyone know?
The relevance of the content.
Yes, the angle actually. The angle was missing. The lead. In journalism, we use the word lead. What's your lead? Angle is what you capture, what you are capturing in that moment. So angle or lead is your main, if you're focusing on more, for example, if you're focusing on consumers, we are trying to help the consumers or the customers. So the angle is clear that we need to help the customers. But if we are focusing on the government, so we're focusing on that government. For example, in the speech objectives, I made the mistake of focusing on the cooking. So my angle was wrong. I focused on the cooking and I need to focus on the mentorship style with my grandmother and what I was learning from her and the process of how I was learning. And I made a huge mistake in that because my angle was missing. And this is where I really regretted that I needed that editing, and I just skipped that process so you can understand how important editing is, because you need to see that anything is missing. So you need to bring your toolkit and see whether you're missing the structure or angle or anything. So, and now once your angle is decided, you have to choose your angle, what you need to focus on. So it will be very easy because you already have the objectives in your pathway project. So you will already be given a particular objective. But if you have so objectives are given, so I don't think there is any doubt about that. So you have that angle, but you have to choose your vision very accurately. So after that angle is decided, organize your entire speech around it and remove anything that is not serving your purpose. Ruthlessly edit. If you need to remove something, remove it, because you would need to entirely structure it according to the angle, according to what your lead is, what your objectives are in that project. Is it clear, I believe? I'm just trying to help you out so that you can help your speeches in the future because I made a lot of mistakes. So now, as I was speaking about the speeches, and one of the best speakers I have come across who has a really wide, large vocabulary, and really his writing is so advanced and very academic. So Utkarsh is a scholar and researcher. He loves traveling, trekking, reading, and spirituality. And he also is the president of Turning Point Toastmasters. He is our speaker today. So let's spot on Utkarsh, speaker number one.
Hi, am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes, you're very well visible and audible.
You need to call
Point.
the evaluator.
Yeah, so I would like to call the evaluator of speaker number one, Anant Katyani.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Please confirm, am I audible clearly?
Yes, you're audible.
Apologies for the video. I believe my internet bandwidth is a little bit on the downside today, as well as Zoom is also causing some trouble. So I will join with video off. I am called here today to introduce the evaluation objective for the speech project that our speaker Utkarsh is attempting. Now, this project is a unique one because this is usually a tough one for many. but I believe Utkarsh will sail it through. The purpose of this very project is for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of his intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine from the project literature available on Pathways how he uses non-verbal communication while delivering a speech. So basically, a practice of self-awareness as well as putting that into practice. I request timer to show timing signals at 5, 6, and 7 minutes respectively. All the very best, Utkarsh. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Now I would like to call upon the speaker, Utkarsh Sharma.
Toastmaster Jaspreet, I think I've joined by what hotspot. So is my voice clear?
Yeah, sure.
Toastmaster Jaspreet, can you hold on? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Is am I perfectly audible and visible since am I perfectly audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Utkarsh, if you
All
could
right,
speak a longer sentence, please.
Jaspreet, you're doing a fantastic job as a TMOD, and you're teaching
Occasionally, I believe there are
doing a
breakages.
wonderful educational session.
There's
Was
some
it clear?
glitch.
There are some breaks.
All right. How about I join via a different bandwidth? Just give me 10 seconds more.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please.
Until then, until then, we can talk about the editing. So the next stage is definitely it's style edit. What do you think what style edit is? I want you to think about. Just guess what style edit would be. Because now the content is structured, you have well researched, you have all the facts right. Now what you need to do in style stage. Yes, Neeraj.
To highlight the points which are more important and which are eye catching, like the facts or numbers, or we need to make few sentences italic, some of the sentences bold. I believe I'm just guessing.
Okay, that's
I
a good
think
guess.
I think the
Yeah.
audience to which it is written, so that's more important. And yeah, rating for that audience is what you,
Okay,
I
focusing
mean,
on the audience.
yes.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, anyone else have any idea? Just guess what style edit would be. Just
It could be like the
sorry.
tone,
The tone.
like
Okay,
if
that's nice.
it's funny or it's like asking questions, or it's just plain tone
Okay,
of the overall article or speech.
that's a good one. Okay.
And the way it should be presented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now it's time for the speaker. So Toastmasters Utkarsh Sharma. Be non-committable. Be non-committable. Toastmasters Utkarsh Sharma. The stage is yours.
Am I? I forgot. Uh, Most of you just labeled me as a speaker who has completely lost his mind, and that's okay, as you did so based on some missing information. You'll be able to change how you think about me in an instant once you realize that this opening was indeed scripted, although I must say the acting wasn't good. Well, labeling me is just one thing, but do you know that you also label yourself all the time? And by virtue of it, you limit your possibilities, your talent, and even your potential. Well, let me explain. Hi, I'm Utkarsh, a self proclaimed nerd, emotional and ambivert, assertive, fiercely independent, generally tidy, and all the time anxious. I'm also goody two shoes and often deemed the prototype nice guy. Now, you might again be in a fix. Why is he listing down so called traits about himself? Well, These are some of the labels either the society places on me or I put on myself. Of course, not all these labels are bad or oppressive, but these are labels nonetheless. First things first, what's up with me and the whole fuss regarding labels? Let me answer this. Firstly, labels end up conveying something absolute. They take an either or all or nothing approach. Something or they are not. It reduces individuals category of our brain's tendencies to take shortcuts. It starts very early in our life. You're labeled in school, maths genius, geek, sporty, rebel, artsy, shy, pretty. Later, that label can condition you and control your choices because of what you were labeled growing up. Some labels can even create severe limiting beliefs. You could have an imposter syndrome. Be or do something because you are a girl, black, Asian, gay, didn't go to the right school or university, or don't look like a doctor, lawyer, CEO, professor. The list is endless. I have had a lifetime of being labeled from you are a boy and boys do XYZ things to you are not what we expected you to be. Heritage, community, family, workplace, all of them expects us to conform. Rather, what is required is that we should have the rationale that just like me, each one of you is a dynamic individual whose identity cannot be confined to a single one size fits all label. Once we start tossing labels to the side, we can truly. Let me address another fundamental question. Why is there a need to label in the first place? And with my understanding, I could come up with 4 reasons. Number 1, responsibility. We use labels as a way to deflect personal responsibility or accountability. I am a free spirit. I'm a carefree soul, aka I can do whatever the heck I want without any shed of responsibility or accountability. Number 2, stereotyping. Labels often oversimplify a person's identity, reducing them to stereotypes. I'm an introvert. I might skip social situations, justifying it's okay, even if it stops me from growing. I'm a rebel, but in reality, I'm just following an image and not exploring other options. Number 3, escaping complexity. Adopting labels can be a way to avoid confronting the complexity of one's identity or experiences. I'm a perfectionist. This is generally to avoid your inner confronting deeper insecurities and using the label of perfection as a distraction. Another one for you. You know what? I'm a loner. I don't need anyone. But in reality, you have some serious interpersonal relationship issues. Number 4, societal validation and conformity. Some individuals may adopt labels to conform to societal expectations or seek validation from others. I'm a fitness fanatic. But in reality, you're trying to fit in with my gym enthusiast friends, even though I dread working out. I'm a workaholic. In reality, you are trying to gain approval from colleagues or bosses. The harsh reality and the general truth of the matter is our identities are fluid, shaped by the ebb and the flow of life, influenced by our experiences and the ever changing world around us. Take, for instance, the way people label me. Some insist you are an extrovert, while others argue, no, you are an introvert. But the truth is, I am both and neither. My energy and interactive abilities depend on a multitude of factors from the day of the week to the demands of my. So let us collectively reject this urge to generalize and label. Most importantly, Don't sabotage your identity trying to name it. Let it be undefined, permeable, mixed, peculiar, and above all, unapologetically authentic. Be in peace with being unprecedented, with not fitting anywhere, just like water with being adrift. Always and always question your identity, especially formed by others. As for me, I have made peace with that I can balance spontaneity and planning, taking and passion and detachment. A morning person or a night out, harmony in the coexistence of these contrasting traits. I can be everything and excludes the past being non. Back to you.
Thank you, Utkarsh. It was really an amazing and amicable speech. Now let's give 1 minute silence for all of you. The timer, please remind us after 1 minute, and we give 1 minute silence to give feedback to Utkarsh.
Oh, 1 minute is up.
Thank you. Now, before we move on to the next session, so we were talking about the style edit, right? So I must say the style edit is one of the most interesting, but not my favorite activity because I have to rewrite everything. Style edit is where we make the content, where we make the speech sound beautiful to our ears while we read. It must have smooth transitions from one paragraph, because when we are moving from one paragraph to another, we need to have that smooth transitions. Even each line should be logically aligned. So style edit really takes a lot of work. A lot of the times we have to rewrite everything. So this is one part of style editing. So I will tell you more about the style edit. Before we move on to that, I would like to really excite you all with the session we were all waiting for, why we came here after all. So our speaker is Ashutosh Singh, and he's a life and consistency coach. He's very adventurous and passionate about helping people. He loves writing and running and is a very great human being who's helping so many people and touching so many lives. So I would really welcome Ashutosh Singh to the stage with a round of applause. Let's do a quick audio and video check.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, and you're visible too.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters. Thank you so much for such warm introduction, Jaspreet. And I would like to thank Utkarsh specifically because he's the one who invited me. We had a conversation, I think, more than a month ago, and then he asked me to come and do a session. And surprisingly, even not surprisingly, coincidentally, I am a part of Toastmasters, and my meeting also happens on Thursday. But like I today, I decided to become part of this club and join you guys. And yeah, I'm also excited as you guys are. So before I begin, I want to ask how much time I have. I just want to confirm.
You have time, enough time. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a interactive session. It's a little hard to do it in the online setting, but I want you to be like on your toes, and if I'm asking question, I want you to like respond quickly. Can you do that for me? Yeah? Okay. Okay, but when I'm asking questions, just like raising your thumb might not work, so you have to also speak it out. Okay? Yes? Okay. So you might be familiar. The name of the topic is the questions are the answers. And I want to ask you, what is the first thing that came to your mind when you heard that or when you saw that?
Philosophy.
Philosophy. Okay.
There's actually a quote from a book that I love. That book is called Letters to a Young Poet. And in that, it says that sometimes the answers can't be given to you. So you have to live the questions. And so basically, even if there is an angst, even if there are things that you can't answer, if you just throw yourself into that angst, you will eventually gradually live your way towards the answer. So that the moment you say that, that's the quote that I'm pulled back to.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that, Srishti. And I deeply resonate with that. I think, and it's somewhere the session is going to be about that only, somewhere. So, very beautifully put. And thank you so much for setting the context for the session.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
So, let me ask you this very simple question that, what was that question that you got asked the most when you were growing up as a child? What was that one question?
It's the question I still don't know an answer to, but for me, it was, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, yes. Exactly. So this is the question that I was also asked the most. And when I was asked this by my relatives, by my teachers. And I remember when I was in class first, so some teacher was asking me this question, what do you want to become when you grow up? And I said, I want to become an IAS officer. And again, in the next standard, when I was in class second, I was again asked this question, what do you want to become? So this time I answered, I want to become a scientist. And then again, in the third standard, I was again asked this question. This time I answered, I want to become an astronaut. Basically, I never knew how to answer that question, because to expect a first year, like someone who's in class first, to know what they want to become when they grow up. And so I would just answer for the sake of answering the question, but the previous person was answering. So I had to answer in a way that I did not match what the previous person was saying. So that's why I would answer differently every time I was asked that question. But when I had, though this question would just I would keep wondering about this question. And one day I was just wondering about this question. I was on my terrace and I was sitting alone, and I realized the answer just came to me that what do I want to become when I grow up? And that answer just felt so right. And the answer was simply that I just want to grow up. I just want to grow up. That's it. And I had my reasons why exactly I answered it that way, why I wanted to be grown up. And if we have time, I will share you. And if you remind me, I will share it towards the end. Why I came up with that simple answer that I just want to go. Yeah. Coming back to the topic of the questions are the answers. And coming back to this question that like, okay, so how many of you have heard that the quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your thoughts?
Yes, I have heard.
Okay. How many of you believe that?
Yes, I believe that.
Okay. Is it true or is it not true? We'll explore this. We'll explore this. But before we talk about if the quality of life is dependent on the quality of our thoughts, let's explore what is thinking basically. You know, what are thoughts and what is thinking basically.
I think thinking comes from emotions and feelings because we humans depend on that.
Thinking is conscious and thoughts are subconscious or unconscious that comes our mind.
I think thinking coming from our surrounding,
Hmm.
our conditions, situations.
Hmm. Yes, Anant.
Maybe thinking is articulating what you are feeling, which you cannot express, but the moment you start rationalizing it, making it logical, it becomes a thought, something you can handle with.
Hmm.
I think thinking is something that you actively do, whereas a thought is something that can come to you. So you might be doing something else and a thought might just appear. But when you say that I am thinking, it is you are in putting intention and you are putting, actively putting energy into creating a certain kind of thought. So, if you're thinking about a problem, that means your mental energy is
Hmm.
focused on that particular problem or something and generating a certain kind of thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, each one of you, for answering that question. And yeah, like those are all different perspectives to what thinking is. And basically, if you really look at it, thinking is simply, this is one of the most simplest way that I have learned and heard that what thinking is. That thinking is simply the process of asking questions and answering questions. Asking and answering questions. Like if you really think about it, even now when I said that, in your mind, the question that you're asking, that you might have like three answers, yes, maybe, or no. And but before that, before you came to that answer, you must have asked this question that what if what I'm saying is true or not. And that process might have happened so fast that oftentimes we are not even aware of the question that we are asking. And in every situation, every time we are asking a question and we are answering. That's what basically thinking is. Like if you're part of this club, and even if you joined it for today's meeting, you must have asked one question that what would I gain, or before you started, when you wanted to become part of this club Toastmasters, you must have asked some different questions like, uh, do you like maybe your intention would have been to get better public speaking. It could have been to be part of community or to learn leadership skill. But before that, you must have always been asking a question that what is it that I want to learn, where I can get better in my life, what is I need, what can I enjoy more in my life, right? So basically, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts, but the quality of your thoughts depends on the quality of your questions. How? Do anyone want to answer how? Yes, Aparajita.
it sets the tone of body or energy to continue and work on it. So
I mean, if you're going to ask right questions, or if you're going to ask positive questions about things around you, then definitely it will give you those particular answers. If you're going to ask wrong questions in a way that, oh, am I worthless? Then you never know. Maybe your brain play with you and say that yes, you might be worthless. So depending on questions only, it affects your thinking and then your thought process.
If
Yes,
you
very
are if you are asking questions, that means you are doing something about it, something that is bothering you or something that you are interested in. Not caring about it at all means there is no progress happening on thought level. So asking question is the first step before actually materializing it. If no questions asked, then nothing done.
Yes, very beautifully answered. Aparajita, Anand, and if anyone else answered. So what happens is that your mind is like a genie. Whatever question you will ask, you will get an answer to it. Ask the question long enough, and just as Srishti said in the beginning, ask the question. If you ask the question long enough, you will always get an answer to it. When it comes to our questions, so let me just rephrase. Like I said, quality of your life is dependent on the quality of your thoughts, and quality of your thoughts is dependent on the quality of your questions. But the quality of your life is dependent on actually your habitual questions that you're asking. And most of those habitual questions are based in our subconscious mind, which we are asking ourselves so fast, so often that we are not even aware of it most of the times. So basically, like what we need to change is our habitual questions. If we can change our habitual questions, we can change our quality of our thoughts. And if we can change the quality of our thoughts, we can change the quality of our life. Do you ever wonder, or this is something very, you might have noticed that different people react very differently to a same situation. So why does that happen?
Perspective.
They might
Hmm?
every situation is perceived differently by any person with his experience and his behavior from that environment, and then
uh,
he will respond differently.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I
Experience.
think
Yes, Amit.
they have asked different question at same situation.
Yeah, that's what I was about to share. Basically, it comes down to asking a different question. And of course, if someone who is experienced will ask a better question than someone who is not experienced. So let's say, like to cite a few examples, let's suppose someone who is going through a rough patch, someone who is facing some critical, challenging situation in their life. Now, what will happen? Now you don't have to be like it is just common sense. Your common sense will know what is right here and what is wrong here. Okay. Just answer. So what will happen if someone is going through a challenging phase? What if let's suppose first this person is asking the question that why does this happen to me? And this is the first question this person is asking. Now this person is asking the question that what can I learn from this? Or how can I overcome this challenge? So, what does your common sense say that which is a better way to think? Which is a better question?
The second one.
The second one, right? If I have to ask why,
because there I can have a hope to change it or to work on it. At first question, I am blaming someone which cannot solve it at the starting.
Yeah. So, like we saw that in this situation, that if we are asking a different question, then we can have a different answer. So, first I said that your brain is like a genie. Whatever question you will ask, the answer will come. The thing or the why is it so important to ask a quality question is because whenever we are asking a good question, what happens is that it changes the focus what we are focusing on. So people who are happier are not the ones who have had like a lot of beautiful moments in their life. People who are happier are the ones who are focusing more on the beautiful moments that have happened there in their life. So someone might be very privileged and may have a very good childhood, very good adulthood, and they might even they may still be not as happy just because they are not focusing on the right things. And what determines the focus?
Questions that we ask to ourselves.
Yes, the questions, the habitual questions that we ask. So if I have to ask you, can anyone, each one of you mention what is that one habitual question that you are often asking yourself?
Means I ask that how I can solve it. If I want expert advice from it, whom I can consult. So that's the main question that comes to my mind.
Okay, that's a very good question. Anyone else?
I think the question can, like, many times question for me, what should I eat now?
I find it very.
Like my habitual question is, how can I be more productive in a day?
Hmm. Okay. Anyone else?
My habitual question, like where in whatever situation I am, I look around and see if somebody is better than me, how I can become better than from that person. Like it. So
Hmm.
I think I'm very much focused into this question.
Okay. Very good.
My,
Anyone else?
yeah, my habitual question is that, okay, if this is a particular situation, now what to do and how to solve it and how easily it can be solved. I'm a lazy person.
Hmm. Okay. Very contrasting answers, but very interesting. Anyone else wants to share?
If just like in with me anything bad happened, I always think I say अच्छा हुआ अब इससे अच्छा क्या हो इससे अच्छा कैसे कर सकते हैं. So these
Hmm.
things happen.
Yeah, that's a very again a good question to ask in adversity. Okay, so let's do one thing. Who wants to play with me? What we'll do, okay, Jaspreet, you raise the hand, and she is not even aware what is the game. So I really find it very interesting. But let's play. So Jaspreet, the game is very simple. We'll talk for a couple of minutes about something that you're finding it challenging, or something that you want to create in your life. Okay, and we'll see. We'll come back. We'll go deeper into the questions that you're asking. Okay, are you do I have your consent? Okay. So let me ask you, what is that one challenge that you're facing right now in your life that you can share here?
I always struggle with being organized. I really am an obsessive thinker. If I like, if I focus on one thing, I do it so obsessively, and I definitely achieve that really well. But I neglect a lot of things, and I don't do anything in an organized way. So it's always a struggle for me.
Okay. So, if I have to ask you, what are the questions that you are habitually asking that you might not be aware in this? Like if you want to do something in a very organized manner. So,
Possibly going to bed early and waking up early and doing work, not just waking up. And the first thing I do is play music in the morning, so I don't do it. So it's
okay. Okay, so sorry, but I am still not clear, as in the challenge that you're facing.
being organized, like being disciplined, let's say.
Being disciplined.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you want to be disciplined, by the way?
So that I can control my behavior.
To
Control my behavior,
control.
my habitual habits.
Okay. So, what could be the habitual questions that you're asking? Like, if you want to control your behavior.
Like doing by a routine, doing things by a routine.
Now, these are the questions that you want to go in the direction. If you had answers to those questions, you would be already doing all those things. What are the questions that are coming in your way? So if there's something that you're not able to do, then possibly there are questions that you're asking that are stopping you. Like if you're not able to do things, what are the things that you say to yourself? Or what are the questions that you ask? Let's suppose tomorrow you fail to do what you plan. Then, like, what would you say, or what is the question that you're going to ask yourself?
If I'm stuck in a situation or something.
No, something that is happening in your past, something this challenge that you're facing that you want to be more disciplined. Let's suppose in the past, there are times when you were not being able to be like you did something and you were not disciplined. Okay, then what was going in your mind?
What was going in my mind is to the next day I will definitely make a proper schedule and a plan and follow it.
Really?
Yeah, so that's like for 2 days, and after, obviously, it doesn't work.
Yeah. What is something that is happening like in a prolonged manner, which is consistently happening, which you can see it could be a pattern.
Mm. Like, what is stopping me from being disciplined?
Yes, you can answer that one.
My impulsive behavior, because just going from one direction to another and the task is boring after all.
Okay. So what if in that situation you are asking a question like how can you make the task interesting or how can you make it easy?
I can make it interesting by first switching my phone off because that's way more interesting, so comparatively. And do things by, using creative ways to do it.
And what could be those creative ways?
Those like one of those ways was when I was a kid in school. I used to go to tuition, and I had to like mug up the entire text or something because I had a test. So I really sung all that content in a very like in a sort of music way, and I've always been music obsessed. So I that's how I learned that quickly, and I did that. So because that's interesting for me. So
Yeah, and it is actually I have not never done something like that, but it's so interesting just to hear that out. And I have to stop here, but did you get some insight?
you have to make the task interesting by doing what you love and combining it with the boring task.
Yeah, yeah. And what was the question? Or what was the question that changed it?
Why am I struggling being disciplined?
Yeah, like we explored on that, and then I changed that question to how can you make it more interesting?
Yeah.
And so it's a very simple question actually. Yeah. So was it like everyone who was listening to it, was it somewhere insightful for you? Was it relatable in a way?
Yes, indeed, of course it was. In the sense that you need to dig deeper and question everything, question your beliefs, your choices, and then you will try to find what exactly that is surfacing, and then you ultimately achieve and find the right answer while questioning and re-questioning.
Yeah. Thank you, Utkarsh. So yeah, this is how you can like self-coach yourself. But one distinction that you can make here is at every question that you are asking, you can ask yourself, is it a limiting question or is this an empowering question? Because so many times, if we are asking a limiting question, we can get lost in that loop and we will ask even more limiting questions. So, one question to discern everything is to just ask yourself if the question that I'm asking is a limiting question or is it an empowering question. So many times, like a lot of us struggle to wake up early, and so many times, what's going on in our mind is like somewhere is it's hard or it's we believe that we have to push ourselves harder, we have to do this and that. But sometimes all whatever if we want to achieve something, the questions we can ask is how can we make it easy and how can we just yeah that's to start with that how can we make it easy, and then you can also go ahead as how can I make it possible by even like asking for some support. That is also answer to that question only, that how you can make it easy. So uh, I want to end, like I want to conclude this session with what we have discussed, as that questions are the answers, and whatever question you are asking, you will get a answer to that if you ask it long enough. So you can ask yourself, like what are the questions you want to ask and what you want to achieve this year. And if you are committed to those questions, you will get all the answers that you need to achieve whatever you want to achieve. And lastly, I have one question for you that is actually a lifelong question that you can ask yourself every day. And it is not what you want to become. But if you answer this question, you will never have to worry about what you want to be. And it's a very simple question. Who do you want to become? Who do you want to become as a person? And if you keep answering that question every day of your life, I don't think there is any question that will be challenging for you. And that's the question I now, when I meet kids, I don't ask them what they want to become when they grow up. I ask them, who do you want to become when you grow up? And surprisingly, at all times, all the kids are aware that what they want to be. It's a very interesting world that we live in, and it gets very interesting when we know how we can ask ourselves and others quality and interesting questions. So this is one of the tools to improve the quality of your life, and it's very simple. How many of you found it like it's so simple? Yeah. So this is how things can change in your life. So many times things are very simple, and sometimes yeah, a lot of times they are easy as well. Simple is not always equivalent to easy, but it can be. Simple can also be easy. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to me so patiently, and thank you so much for being such active participants of this session. So just go ahead, change the quality of your habitual questions, and you will experience that in your life. You will experience the change in your life. Thank you.
Let's have a round of applause for Ashutosh Singh for such an amazing session. So
Thank you.
now it's time for the style edit that we were discussing. I know I'm making a very boring session, very boring team. I'm really not a great host, but so style edited is very simple. Honestly, it's so easy. Like if it's style means like it's stylish, you're making things more beautiful, isn't it? So you're making your speech more beautiful. So how you can do that? First is obviously, as I mentioned, you need to make the content read well. And this is seriously one of those tasks that I don't like to do because you have to rewrite the entire speech most of the time when you're doing the style editing. So the next step in the style editing is opening and closing. We always hear the same thing, you know, you need to have the fantastic opening and the closing. But how do we do that? So with the opening, try always include an anecdote, any kind of story that is related to you in some way, that is coming from your authentic self. Don't use any other person's story and put that into your speech and just present it, because it will not be real. It will not come from your heart. It will not be a great opening. The opening can include a story, can include a quote that you love, something that is coming from inside you, from your heart. Write the opening in that way, and you will have the most amazing opening ever for your speech. With the closing, you need to be straightforward. It's the more you need to work on the opening part, more like extraneous way you're stretching it. But with the closing part, you are being more straightforward. You're concluding and you're giving away all the information. So that's how you will end it. Another most important thing in the style edit is you need to make sure all the people you have mentioned in your speech, if you're writing a speech about any person, or even if you're mentioning any person's name that you are inspired by, or any person, you need to make sure that person is introduced well, because audience may not be aware of that person. To introduce them well initially, explain who that person is. For example, okay, this is one of the mistake I did with my draft, but definitely not with my speech, because the speech I edited with my mentor multiple times. It was a geographical, it was a story of my grandmother, how I am belong to Delhi, and that's the speech. So in that speech, I initially in the draft, I forgot to mention my grandmother's name, and I started mentioning the entire story. So at the end, my mentor got to know that what my grandmother name was. So you have to understand, you need to mention the character or whoever you're mentioning very clearly in the beginning, so that people can follow. And they don't need, and when you're writing or you're giving a speech, the reader don't need to get confused. You need to remove all the confusion, because the audience is not going to think about what that person was. It should be very clear who you're talking about. So that's very important in the style edit. So that's why editing is so important. You know, right, when we write the draft, we make a lot of mistakes. We don't realize it. So we need to bring our toolkit. We need to check what is missing. So with that, now is the time to call our table topic session, the most important one, and the guest will get a chance to take up any session to give speech. So Priyanka is our table topic master, and she is from Himachal. She works in social work sector, and she loves to write poetry, drawing, and she loves to dance. So I would like to call upon Priyanka. Sorry, I would like to call upon Priyanka on the stage. Let's do a quick audio and video check.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes, you are, very clearly.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Jaspreet, for this lovely introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and lovely guests. It's time for one of the most exciting part of the meeting, the table topic. I am Priyanka, your table topic master of the day. So let's start. The table topic is a segment of impromptu speaking. So before we start, let me brief you with the rules. I will give you a volunteer topic and a speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. You will see a green signal after a 1 minute, a yellow signal after a 1 minute 30 second, and a red signal after a 2 minute. Keep in mind that our participants are disqualified at a 2 minute 30 second. I also encourage you to use the word of the day, which is amicable. I hope I pronounced correctly. Kindly note that this session is not restricted to the members alone. As Jaspreet already mentioned, even the guests can also participate. So let's start. So who wants to be first? I'm not able to see any hand raise. Okay. Yes. Okay. Amit, let's do a quick audio and video check.
Am I audible or visible?
Yes, you are. Okay. So Amit, Toastmaster Amit, joyful moment in your life. Joyful moment in your life. Toastmaster Amit.
Thank you. Thank you for giving this topic. I have lots of joyful moment in my life, but I remember when I went for traveling first time. It was unplanned trip, but unplanned trips has most of moments. So it was Masuri. I went there, and we could not able to find hotels there because it was very and just like the New Year times, and everything is booked. So we stayed in homestay, and we get the home food. And what happened when we wake up in morning, the snowfall is there. So it was really beautiful to see the snowfall with that homemade tea and paratha, and enjoying with friends. And we get that we don't get that cozy bed, but we get a wonderful she was giving us food, and she was taking care of us. So it was really wonderful experience in mountains, and this was first experience. So I kept going to mountains and meeting people from Uttarakhand and Himachal. Thank you. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, Amit. This is really a beautiful speech. It's remind me my unplanned my unplanned trip even. I also have many unplanned trips. So thank you for remembering me those. So let's go for second. Okay, so Madhav is raise his hand. So Madhav, what did 2023 teach you? What did 2023 teach you, Madhav? Okay, let me do first audio and video check.
Am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes, you can start.
Okay. So when I look back at 2023, it's very clear that the last year had a lot of things to teach us. What I find most significant was adaptability. So we saw a major we just recovered from a major pandemic, and we were working from home and all that. So that taught us adaptability, whether in our professional or personal life, like we have to adapt and overcome like basic challenges. So another takeaway which I would like to mention was empathy. So there were a lot of we heard about a lot of wars this year, and there is a lot of intolerance growing in the country, if I say that. So empathy is something like in the midst of basically this challenging times, like empathy is our greatest strength, which I felt, and to create like a amicable atmosphere. So that was the another one. And the last one, which I feel is like last year taught us how to reevaluate our priorities. Basically, like work-life balance and like importance of mental health and everything. Like all these things taught us to get our priorities straight and like do some self-maintenance. So mostly these three pointers were something which like 2023 taught me. I hope everyone else had some pointers of their own. But at the end, like we carry all these lessons we and in the next year and the upcoming year and like implement them as per our this thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhav. I think the 2023 really teach me also adaptability. So, and I'm really related to your speech. Thank you sharing these lessons with us. So let's start. I think Ravi, do you want to take a part?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So okay. I already did a audio and video check with you when you say sure. So let's go directly to the topic. So, Toastmaster Ravi, worst dish you cooked? Worst dish you cooked? Toastmaster Ravi.
Worst dish. I think I have just prepared the tea 2 days back for my parents, and I actually cooked many times tea, but at that time I was experimenting with what I don't know about the English word. It's called good in Punjabi. So I was avoiding the white sugar and I was adding uh, good, and uh, just I added small amount of good in it. And in Punjab we love sugar. So when I do not check it and just serve to my parents, they they just take a sip of it and they say, "What is this?" So when I take the same sip, I realize that it was one of the worst tea I have prepared. So I have compensated today with adrak chai and other stuff, saunf and elaichi. So it was a good experience for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi, for sharing this. I think many people can relate to this when they start cooking. Yes. Okay. So, I would like to ask Aprajita, would you like to take a part in this table topic?
Sure.
Yes. Let's do a okay. Yes. Let's do a quick audio video check.
Am I audible? Visible?
Yes. Okay. So, Aprajita, what makes someone hero in your eyes? What makes someone hero in your eyes? Aprajita.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Priyanka, I guess, right? Yeah. So, what makes someone hero in my eyes? Okay, this is there are so many adjectives if I go with to make someone hero in my eye. But the main adjective which I think as in a person to make someone hero is the kindness, the way that person behaves in front of it can be anyone, in front of parents, it can in front of stranger, in front of differently abled person. That person makes me feel that okay, that he has or she has a particular compassion in him, and he's very amicably present himself So that makes me feel that, okay, he's hero in my eyes. And another thing which makes me feel is that how polite a person can be. And if that person is polite, it's not that you are polite in front of a stranger. It's about being polite in front of anyone, or be as a habit. If it is a habit that, okay, you are behaving in a certain way, even if you are angry, you are trying to present your best in it. I think so that that person makes me a hero, because these things is something which a person accept himself intentionally. It's not like that you have grown up with these what we can say qualities. Even if you have the worst scenario in your house, and you're still pursuing that, no, I have to be polite, I have to be kind, I have to be in a certain way which is respectful, then I think so that person is a hero in my eyes. Thank you.
Thank you, Prajita, for this lovely speech. Yes. So, anyone want to take a part, participate? Okay. I see Anant. I see your hand raised. Let's do a quick audio video check.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, Toastmaster Anant, funny travel incident. Funny travel incident. Toastmaster Anant.
Well, I don't travel that much. I have been to a few places, probably in the past couple of summers, and both of them with my in-laws. A lot of funny incidents happen on the way. At the risk of getting thrashed after this meeting, allow me to share a couple of them. So one a particular one which happened this year was when my entire in-laws family, including my brother-in-laws, etc., and me, my wife, my kid, we went along for a whole 1 week trip to Vaishno Devi, followed by Jammu Kashmir. So 1 day or 2 day max for Vaishno Devi, and for 4 or 5 days Kashmir. You can very well understand Vaishno Devi trip was never about visiting Mata Rani. It was all about planning for what will happen in Kashmir, where we'll go, and all. And at the end of the Vaishno Devi trip return, we were kind of compressed for time because it took longer than anticipated due to train delays and all. So we covered nearly 5 places in 3.5 days. It doesn't look really a well planned situation. So for the entire trip, the three of us gentlemen, myself, my wife's brother, and my wife's sister's husband, the three of us, we were like, and if there is an emoji I could show over here, you can very well imagine what that emoji would look like. The nearest state of mind that comes to me is that Pakistani fan in the past World Cup. You remember that one, the check shirt, the one who really had his hand on his hips and his eyes frowned away and all. Ye kar lo pehle. So for the entire trip, it was like the moment we were trying to bring it on track according to the schedule, something or other will get stretched by you know who. And we were not really in a situation to say anything. And at the end of the trip, you know who was deemed guilty of bad planning? Take a guess. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Anand. I think you, the person, for guilty bad planning. I can understand, but I'm also a very bad planner. But It's work because funny incident only the thing that we remember we in the trip. So okay, I think Neeraj has a hand raise. So Neeraj, let's do a quick audio video check.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes. Toastmaster Neeraj, best way to enjoy winter. Best way to enjoy winter. Toastmaster Neeraj.
For me, the best way to enjoy winter is to stay in my room and have a quilt the entire day. And if I can get a tea with ginger and tulsi in it, so that would be the best part of my entire day. And I don't know lately, like I hate sugar, but lately I don't know what has happened to me. I am cooking daily something for myself, sometimes seviya, moong dal halwa, uh, Suji halwa out of nowhere. I don't know. This is first time that has happened to me like this. So even I don't know. I have joined baking classes to make more good dishes for myself, where I'm learning cakes, cookies, and all fancy stuff. So I think every day I want to have something that sort of which is uh, combination of hot and cold ingredients, so that just makes my day like every day. And of course like having a good company around me, that maybe sometimes with my friends, and heater in the center, so that I keep up all the time. So heater in the center, that really make my uh, day in winter. So I really don't like going outside in winters, or have big long trips. So I hate doing that. But in summer, so I'm like completely opposite. So yeah, this is it. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj. So, here our Toastmasters table topic segment is going to be finished. I thoroughly enjoy and learn so much. Thank you, everyone, for the being such a fabulous participant. Over to you, Toastmaster Jaspreet.
Thank you, Priyanka. It was so good. You did a fantastic job. So now, as we come to the concluding part of my editing techniques, so one thing I forgot to mention about the style edit, as I said, you need to beautify, just like the word style, you're making things stylish. So at the end, the descriptive language in your speech, this is the time to add. This is the third phase where you can add your descriptive language. Now, an example of a descriptive language, like you can, for example, if I say a sentence like he drank milk. So it's a simple, straightforward sentence, right? Now, if I say in a descriptive means you're using figure of speech, imagery, and a bunch of things to make it more evocative, beautiful. So if I say the same thing, he gulped down the entire glass of milk. He gulped down the entire glass of milk. So gulp down is an imagery. We can imagine like he's gulping down, right? So that's figure of speech. That's descriptive language. So this is what we do. So okay, don't overuse it. This is one of those things I need to warn you. Don't overuse descriptive language because then it looks artificial. A lot of the times what people do, they have this speech and they underline some words, go on the Google, find the other synonyms, the more difficult ones, and put them in their speech to make it like more impressive. That's artificial. Nobody find it impressive. Never do that. Just you can just use some imagery, some descriptive language. There are so many simile, metaphors, and there are many more, which I'm not going to mention because they're too advanced. So this is one of those style edit. Now, the last one, presentation edit. The last presentation, the presentation edit is, I think we are all familiar with Grammarly. How many of you have used Grammarly? I have. So Aparajita, you haven't? Really? You guys haven't? The other people? Okay, Hemingway. Hemingway is a good tool. Come on. Okay, any AI tool for editing, writing. I mean writing, not video editing stuff. Okay. Okay.
ChatGPT.
So, okay, yeah, one of the best. Okay. So the presentation edit is really not difficult. And honestly, when I entered in the writing industry, I had no idea. I just thought this is what editing is, the proofreading part, where we correct the grammar, where we correct the punctuation, grammar, and all those hyphen and basic things, or spelling mistakes, or the typing mistakes. So that's called proofreading in journalism, or the word is proofreading, and some people also call it copy edit these days. Copy editors, you have heard possibly some. Okay, so these two terms are used. So another thing, so this is what presentation edited. I don't think we need to do that much because we have amazing tools these days. We don't have to put that much mind to it. Obviously, even Microsoft Word a lot of the times correct the spelling mistakes on its own, and even grammar mistakes. So there are many tools which I have mentioned: Grammarly, Hemingway, many AI tools that you can use to correct you make your speech even more better. Obviously, go on these websites when you're writing your speech, focus on the editing part, and make your speech even more beautiful. And I would recommend write your speech much in advance and focus on the editing, and give yourself a week for rehearsal so that you can present the best. Take 2 weeks for one speech. It's very essential to do that if you want to become one of the best speakers ever. Obviously, I need to do that too. Okay. Okay, and the last point is very simple, yet we often neglect again. Once your draft is complete, once your editing process is done, everything is done. As I always say, even like Stephen King has mentioned multiple times whenever he's one of the biggest writers, the most famous one of horror movies and horror stories. He always say marinate your let it marinate for a while. Like, go away. Once you're done, take yourself maybe a day off or 6 hours or something, and after then come with a fresh mind and then read multiple times, at least 5 times in my opinion, but you can read 3 times your speech draft, and every single time you will read that, you will find something that is missing or something that is wrong. Shishti, do you have anything to say? Okay.
No, I just didn't lower my hand, sorry.
Okay. So this is what editing was. So I hope you have taken a big chunk of information from this and improve your speech and writing skills. My purpose was to help you because I've gone through those stages. I thought it would be easy, but it wasn't. I made many mistakes. So because of this new year that is coming, I want you all to improve your speech writing and use the objectives and align your speeches with that. So with this, I end my TMOD session and I would like to call upon the presiding officer, Utkarsh Sharma. Thank you.
Point of order, we have to go for general evaluation first.
Oh, sorry. So the time is for journal evaluation. So journal evaluator, Ankit.
Jaspreet, am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Thanks, Jaspreet. So it is well said that feedback is the compass guiding us towards improvement and growth. This is what we have, what we'll be getting to here in this section of evaluation. With this, I would like to kick off this section by calling upon stage Postmaster Anant Katyani for giving the evaluation for speech number 1. Anant, can we have you on the stage?
Thank you for spotlighting. Please confirm if I'm audible.
Yes, Anand, you are audible as well as visible. Go ahead.
All right. So today, Utkarsh delivered a speech which had a very interesting topic selection. Not the easiest of the topics, a kind of abstract one, that to a very high level thinking one. But he made his best attempt to make it familiarize with the audience. There were a few hits and a few misses. Let me highlight the hits first. The first and foremost is, even though people may have different takes on different parts of his topic coverage, uh, he had an amicable tone throughout. So his voice quality is something which is very soothing, gives a really nice effect to the listener's ear. All the more important today, given the kind of glitches you're having, the video being frozen, and the audio also getting chopped in between. In fact, Utkarsh, if I may say, the entire last 1 minute till red card was literally washed off. Not to worry, you have a look at it later on during the recording and figure it out. Uh, I will comment on that part later, but for now, the opening monologue that you had, that's really, really impressive to catch someone's attention, uh, really by force. It lost its sheen because immediately 30 seconds before that you had a real life case of that very situation, where you had to switch your audio bandwidth. So doing that again kind of made it predictable, or nearly didn't have that kind of impact. So that was a miss in that case. uh, Quickly checking over a few ideas for you to ponder upon. When you say something as specific as, let's say, an imposter syndrome, have a moment to explain it in a little bit, maybe in a 2 or 3 line. The lines that followed immediately after it did not really match with what imposter syndrome is. That was something altogether different. So audience might get a different idea altogether. Audio troubles I have already covered. The structuring could be better. In fact, the structuring could be a bit more concrete if you insert some specific anecdotes or personal stories in it. Not a one line or two-line stories, a proper experience, a short anecdote. That will give it a gravity. The content will not look smoky, it will have some physical aspect to it, a physicality to it. So give that some gravity. Now, specific ideas on the body language part. Uh, Given that all the challenges that you had, maintain the eye contact the way I am doing right now with the lens. It's a tendency that when we have so much on our plate, we might be tempted to look at the screen. When you sit so near to screen, that angle of shift is too huge. If you are at a distance, maybe the lens and the screen will not make that much of angle shift. But when you sit this close, looking at lens versus looking at someone's face may really, really take away the interest of the audience. And given that this project is body language, why not when you repeat it, if you choose to, or later in other speeches as well, stand up and deliver and explore the full range of your posture as well. I think the posture was a missed opportunity. I will not say whether it was needed in this speech or not, but if you want to unlock the power of body language, awareness on your own body language, do include that as well. With that being said, all the very best for your next speech. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Anant. Thanks for giving such a detailed feedback, and uh, yeah, I think this will definitely help Utkarsh. Now, I would like to call upon my tag team to share their evaluation. First, I would call upon grammarian Amit to share his report. Amit, can we have you on the stage?
Yes, am I audible or visible?
Yes, Amit, you are audible and visible.
Okay. So here I am ready with my report. So here a few words that I have learned in this session. That first word is imposter syndrome. That means self-doubt, self-doubt on self, just like intellect, skill, and big achievements. That is imposter syndrome. Second is self-proclaimed, is giving one title to self without approval of other person. And third one is prototype, it is a first model or sample that something used on the basis of future that will be going to use in future. The fourth word is rationalization. That meaning is the act of explaining any action, attitude, or behavior of past. So these words that I have learned, and these that is good word. And few recommendations, just like when we are talking about past, don't use I take. We can use I took. So this was the only recommendation from my side. And the word of the day used by many people that is very amicable of them. That the name is Jaspreet, Priyanka, Madhav, Aparajita, and Anant Katyani. Thank you. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Amit, for sharing and noticing down all these good usages as well as suggestions from your side. A small suggestion, if possible, in future, please show us the report of basically grammarian report, if it's possible. It basically helps us comprehend all of your insights better, and we can also remember those insights in future in a much better way. Now I would like to call upon my tag team member, our counter, Ravi. Ravi, can we have you on the stage?
Hi, I'm audible.
Quick audio and video check. Yes, Ravi, you are audible and visible. Please go ahead.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, Ravi, you should be able to share your screen.
It's disabled right now.
Ravi, you will be able to share your screen now.
Okay.
Just a second. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so about Ankit, you have used most of the at the last stage of it. Neeraj also. Jaspreet, you have said so and taken one or two long pauses. Priyanka, you have used so 3 times. For Amit, you have used and so more than 5 times. Ashutosh, you have used and so for more than 5 times. For Anant, you have used so 1 time just as a filler word. For Madhav, you have used so and more than 5 times. And Prajita, you have used and more than 5 times and taken 2 long pauses also. Thank you. That's all for
Thanks, Ravi. Thanks for sharing such a detailed report. And now I would like to call upon next tag team member, Timer Ashima. Can you come on the stage?
Okay. Is my screen visible to everyone? Yes. Is my screen
Yes,
visible?
it's visible. Yes, Ashima.
Okay, thank you. So today's Ankit, he has taken 2 minutes 20 seconds. TMOD of the day, Jaspreet. She has taken 32 minutes 32 seconds. Channel evaluator Ankit, you have initially started with the 3 minutes 41 seconds. Speech evaluator Anant Katyani has taken 3 minutes 20 seconds. Prepared speaker Utkarsh Sharma, he has taken 7 minutes 20 seconds. Today we have a session of Ashutosh and he has taken almost 30 seconds for 30 minutes 4 seconds. Toastmaster TTM Priyanka, she has taken 5 minutes 23 seconds. First table topic speaker Amit, he has taken 1 minute 30 seconds. Madhav has taken 2 minutes 15 seconds. Ravi has taken 1 minute 18 seconds. Prajita has taken 2 minutes 34 seconds. Anand Katyani as a table topic speaker has taken 2 minutes 10 seconds. Neeraj has taken 1 minute 45 seconds. And grammarian report, Amit, he has taken 3 minutes 14 seconds, and a counter, Ravi Bhardwaj, he has taken 1 minute 5 seconds. Yeah, so that's the timer report for today.
Thank you, Hashima. Thanks for sharing such a detailed report. We could see everyone's on time for today's meeting. Now, feedback from my side. So I would start first with the role players. So starting with the presiding officer, which is played by Neeraj Singla for the first time today. So she did a great job today in terms of welcoming guests, making them excited about the meeting, welcoming them for this new year, and also explaining, also basically reaching out to guests and understanding where they are coming from. So kudos to you, Neeraj, for doing such a fantastic job for the when you were playing this role for the first time, and you perfectly transitioned it to Toastmasters of the Day, Jaspreet, who questioned herself during the meeting that she is not a good host, but like the way she has handled this meeting overall, like you were really great in terms of doing your role so perfectly in terms of engaging with the audience, right? Asking them questions, uh, bringing curiousness in the audience about what kind of content you are going to tell, so that they think about those questions. And you were also giving some examples, like so that people can understand clearly how to apply all the techniques that you have told. And this is the first session that I have basically seen about editing techniques, right? And this is very relevant for all of us Toastmasters who basically write speeches, right? We need to give speeches. So this is the first session that I go to see, and it was perfect in terms of the kind of content you shared. It will definitely help all of us. One just suggestion, like in case you could share some notes of it to the members, it will be really helpful for all the Toastmasters. And suggestion would be just like don't doubt yourself. You are great. You are doing great, and would love to see such kind of sessions more in future. Next, coming to table topic section, which was led by Priyanka. Priyanka, you were smiling and like excited about like all complete table topic section. So I think that really helped in terms of making all the audience feel alive, as well as making everyone feel friendly about it. And your topics were simple as well as engaging, so everyone could participate. And many of the funny stories or anecdotes come during your table topic section, so it was entertaining as well. And then regarding table topic speeches, I think everyone did great in terms of sharing the content, and they were all meeting the timings that was required. And then overall about the meeting, I would say this is like one of the most interactive and most informative session that I have seen in the recent, like maybe last 6 months. And just like three words I would use to define this meeting. One is educate, right? So the kind of session which Jaspreet led with respect to deep editing techniques, and then the session by Ashutosh, and then speech by Utkarsh. Like everything was educative for us, right? And the second one is basically elevate. So it definitely has elevated my confidence in terms of like how much I'm going to improve in case I continue to basically be in Toastmaster for this year with this session that we have today. And the entertainment, right? The entertainment throughout this session, I could see like people laughing during this session, right? And everyone was really feeling energetic. So kudos to all the role players, all the speeches for this meeting. I would end my evaluation here, and I would be handing the stage back to Toastmaster of the Day, just straight to. Okay, so I will be handing over the stage to our presiding officer, Utkarsh, for concluding the meeting today.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ankit, our general evaluator, and the entire tag team for doing such a fantastic job. It was a very invested feedback, and we'll duly note everything down. Thank you so much. What a cracker of a meeting we had today. It started with the debutant presiding officer, our Vice President Education, Neeraj Singla, doing a fantastic job. And then it moved towards Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jaspreet, who gave us all the hicks and tricks about the editing techniques, be it the content structure, style, presentation. She has it all. And last but not the least, the cherry on the cake, we had Toastmaster Ashutosh, who kind of made us aware of our thinking patterns and the quality of life that could be improved because of it. Thank you so much for giving us clarity. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Before I interview you, I will definitely launch some polls for everyone. I'll request everyone to cast votes. We are almost over time. Please cast your votes quickly. This is for the best table topic speaker. In the meantime, Toastmaster Ashutosh, can we have you on Spotlight? Hi, Toastmaster Ashutosh. How was your experience today?
Hi, Utkarsh. Thank you so much for inviting me. It is always a wonderful experience to be part of Toastmasters meeting, whether it's online, whether it's offline. Although I am a little more fond of attending offline meetings, but this was for a change, a very good experience. I think there's something special when group of people are coming together with an intention to grow, wherever it is, no matter the platform, but it is something special. The energy where you want to grow and become a better version of yourself, and being part of that collective energy, it always feels special.
Wow, no matter what I ask you, you're always profound. How do you have that quality, man? Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashutosh. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're saying something. Go ahead.
nothing. Yes.
All right. All right. So I'm launching the next poll for everyone, which is for the best role player. Give me a moment. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Thank you for accepting my invitation and coming here and enlightening us. Thank you so much for that education session. Next, I would like to invite Aparajita for any kind of feedback. She's coming here for the second time. Hi, how are you? Happy New Year. You weren't there in the beginning, so I'm wishing you Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Utkarsh.
So,
Yeah.
how's your second time as experiencing in Toastmasters?
Oh, it's always a delight for me to join, although it's my second time attending Turning Point Toastmasters, but I love the way you guys conduct this meeting and help guests and those who are with the goal of clearing their speeches. And for second thing, I am really into this speakers, speaker 1, 2, 3, like those who have these speeches. And I wish if I am a member, I would love to deliver one of the speech. So yeah.
Let's manifest it soon. Thank you so much. We are so glad, genuinely glad that you're finding value in our meetings and you are enjoying it. And thank you so much for pouring your heart out. We truly appreciate it.
And one more thing. And
Yeah.
as Anand says, you literally give good, malab, it's very good to hear the way you deliver your speech and statements. It's nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. And yeah, thank you for the feedback. I'm sorry, I would just like to apologize. There's some glitch in the poll. The timer is Ashima, Toastmaster Ashima, and not Toastmaster Jaspreet. So kindly consider that while voting. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this poll in 5 seconds. Please cast your votes. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's already 9. I will strive to end this meeting very soon. I'll announce the results for everyone. We'll start with the best table topic speaker. The best table topic speaker is very interesting. And the results are very interesting. We have a 3-way result. There's a tie between 3 people. So the winners are Amit, Toastmaster Amit, Toastmaster Ravi, and Toastmaster Anand. Can we have a huge round of applause for all these people? Thank you so much. Next up is for the best role player. Best role player is our debutant, table topic master Priyanka, who I must say has put in a lot of effort for this role, and she thoroughly deserves it. Can we have a huge round of applause for her? Last but not the least, it's for the best tag role. The tag role player, the winner for the tag role player is our counter, Toastmaster Ravi. Both the debutants winning. It's a huge feat. Thank you so much, everyone, for voting so generously. Toastmaster Ravi and Toastmaster Priyanka, huge congratulations.